Hi and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna talk about the musical slur. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. So I remember one of my early lessons playing this easy but charming piece, Allegretto by Giuliani. It's the number 2 from the Opus 111, and I was very happy and confident about it because I thought I could play it fairly well. Yet, my teacher continued interrupting me just after 2 bars and was telling me, "You're playing a mistake." And I was like, "What? You're playing a mistake." I played again. So he was challenging me to find what I was doing wrong. So I repeated the piece one more time, and again he stopped me. "You're playing a mistake." So at a certain point, I give up. So I asked him what was wrong if I was playing the right notes, with the right rhythm, with the right dynamic. I really couldn't figure what was wrong. And his answer was fulminating. He said, "You're playing the right things in the wrong way." So he told me the resolution is too loud. The slur in the B is far too loud. You play it much too strong. My face was like, what? It was an enlightening discovery to know that in Giuliani's time, the slurred notes were softer than the note from which started the slur group. In my case, there was even the aggravating that that note was a suspension. Now, a suspension is a note falling on the beat without belonging to the harmony of that moment. As such, it requires the resolution to the right note in order to resolve the tension created. This performance is painstakingly described in the theatrices from the Baroque until the early Classic period like this. The suspension must be played heavier and the resolution must be tied to it, being played so much softer and according to the tempo, even shorter than indicated. Therefore, the idea that the slurred notes have to sound as loud as the plucked notes is a very limited vision of this topic. For widening it, we will have to start thinking as musicians and not only as guitar players. A correct and more striking performance of the slurred note depends, in fact, totally in the harmonical function of this note, and, of course, from the historical context in which a slurred group occurs. Needless to say that a slur in Mozart has a totally different musical meaning than a slur in Mahler. The classic slur of the left hand, both notes equally strong and with clear attack on the slurred note, requires the player to even the strength of the non-slurred note and the slurred note. In this case, the technique consists on hammering strongly with the finger on the fret in order to produce a clear and solid tight note. For the descending slur, the technique consists in plucking the string with the finger that produces the slur. Some guitar schools even suggest to rest with the slurring finger in the string beneath, if available. It is obvious that, after what we said before, this vision of the slur doesn't quite satisfy all the musical requirements of a very large part of our repertoire. In Giuliani, for the descending slurs, the finger must release the pressure on the fret, leaving the string with a delicate upwards movement, producing in this way a slur without this typical attack of the traditional technique, and most importantly, producing a soft and smooth performance of the tight notes. For the ascending slurs on their part, the slur technique consists not on hammering the finger, but in leaning the finger softly onto the string, starting from a close distance to the string. Let's take now an iconic passage for clarifying this ascending-descending musical slur. This is the Lure from the Partita 1006 by Bach. A musical incorrect performance of the bows could totally distort the musical meaning of this passage. I would like to show you now the importance of the analysis and how the knowledge of very crucial performance practices of that time can enhance the expression of this music and enable the player to make the right musical choice for the slurring technique. The first fact is that all the notes from which the bow starts in this passage are suspensions. If we rewrite these bars taking away the suspensions and replacing them by the right notes, the score will look as follows. Now this would represent the ground rhythm of the lure, which was written for sake of easiness in reading like this, but it was performed like this. Perfect descriptions of this can be found in vintage theatrices. However, it was strictly required to separate the long double quarter note from the following 16, creating factually a 16th silence before the factual 16 note. So the suspension-free passage would look like this. If we play now these two bars, adding on the strum beats all the suspensions, we can easily understand the importance of the correct performance of them, which requires the slurring technique, both ascending and descending, that I'm presenting to you today. You can hear that to enhance the power and expression of the suspension, I play slightly staccato the quarter note before them. Without the correct choice of slurring, one would immediately lose this effect of side character given by the succession of these suspensions. A historically informed performance of the slurs clearly brings out the rhetorical gesture and expression of this music and of a large part of our original repertoire. So it is not just an elitist or academical snooty choice, but a conscious and responsible choice from the player, with the only aim to let the listener enjoy and understand more this wonderful music. So that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give a like and subscribe if it brought you some value. Feel free to share it, that would help me a lot as well. And as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.